Hello and welcome to another episode of Disney Movie Investigation. If this is your first time watching, welcome to the show. This is our December bonus video where we review a movie based on votes on our Facebook poll. In this video, we are looking at a modern Christmas favorite as we look at the 2000 How the Grinch Stole Christmas starring Jim Carrey. And stay tuned for our bonus story as we take a look at Universal Studios' Grinchmas celebration. And if you are enjoying these videos, please do hit that subscribe button. That way you will never miss a single one of our videos. But for now, sit back and enjoy this episode of Disney Movie Investigation. So like I said, today we're covering How the Grinch Stole Christmas. This movie was released on November 8th, 2000, and it was directed by Ron Howard. It is based on How the Grinch Stole Christmas by Dr. Seuss, and the production companies were Imagine Entertainment, and it was distributed by Universal Pictures. The budget for this movie was $123 million, with a box office return of $345.1 million. But let's take a look at the development. So prior to Dr. Seuss's death in 1991, he had actually refused to sell all film rights to any of his novels. His spouse, Audrey Geisel, after her husband passed away, agreed to several merchandising contracts, including clothing line, CDs, and other accessories. In July of 1998, Geisel wrote a letter announcing that she would hold an auction to the film rights to How the Grinch Stole Christmas. And in order to meet with Geisel, the studios must agree to the following conditions. They must pay $5 million for the material, as well as give 4% of the box office gross, 50% of merchandising revenue and music-related material, and 70% of book tie-in related material. The letter would also go on to say that the actor who played the Grinch must be on the same level as Jack Nicholson, Robin Williams, Jim Carrey, and Dustin Hoffman. Lastly, the letter would also go on that the director of the film would not be considered unless it earned at least $1 million on their last picture. 20th Century Fox submitted their bid with director Tom Shadyac, with Jack Nicholson playing the Grinch. The Farley brothers and John Hughes also made pitches, and Universal Pictures pitched with Brian Grazer as the director. Geisel refused all of these offers. Brian Grazer reached out to his production partner Ron Howard, who ended up pitching along with the hook that he would expand the story to expand the Cindy Lou Who role, and Geisel agreed on this and announced on September 16, 1998, that Ron Howard would direct with Jim Carrey portraying the Grinch. Jeffrey Price and Peter S. Scheinman would write the screenplay, but Geisel also had final script approval and removed several of the jokes that she felt was inappropriate. The filming of the movie did occur on the Universal backlot, and Rick Baker was hired to do the makeup effects for all the Whos. Initially, the makeup for Jim Carrey as the Grinch took 8.5 hours to apply. A frustrated Carrey would kick a hole in the wall of his trailer because of the length of time, and he quickly earned a reputation of being mean and a Grinch with the production crew and fellow cast members. James Horner was hired to compose the score, and a soundtrack would be released featuring several pop stars such as NSYNC and Faith Hill performing modern-day Christmas songs. As well, in order to promote the movie, a Grinch video game was released for PlayStation, Dreamcast, and Game Boy Color, as players would play as the Grinch, reenacting the scenes from the movie. So let's take a look at the cast. So we have Anthony Hopkins, who is the narrator. Jim Carrey, obviously, as the Grinch. We have Christine Barnatsky as Martha May Whovier. Jeffrey Tambor as Mayor Augustus Mayhew. Taylor Momsen as Cindy Lou Who, Bill Irwin as Lou Who, Molly Shannon as Betty Lou Who, Clint Howard as Hubris, the mayor's assistant, and Mindy Sterling plays Camilla Who. So now that we know the players, let's take a look at the plot. So inside of a snowflake exists the magical world of Whoville, wherein live the Whos, an almost mutated sort of Munchkin-like people who all love Christmas. Just outside their beloved town, however, lives the Grinch, a nasty creature that hates Christmas and plans to steal it from the Whos, with which he equally abhors. Little Cindy Lou Who, though, decides to befriend the Grinch and teach the Grinch about Christmas spirit. So this movie would go on to win the Academy Award for Best Makeup. And in 2006, at the Foxwood Theatre, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the musical, debuted. In 2002, NBC also aired a live presentation of the musical How the Grinch Stole Christmas with Matthew Morrison as the Grinch. So would I recommend this movie? I think this movie is amazing. It's one that I constantly revisit every Christmas. I remember seeing it in the theaters with my family, and they all loved it as well. It's a great family film. I think the performance of Jim Carrey is a highlight, and it really definitely carries the film. He adds a great mixture of comedy as well as heartfulness. Also, Taylor Momsen, who plays Cindy Lou Who, really tugs at the heartstring. And I love with Ron Howard how he created a world full of imagination and wonder with the Who's, and everything was just over exaggerated. So it really transported you into a different world. So definitely recommend this movie. If you have never seen it before, it's definitely one that I rewatch every Christmas. So yeah. So let's move on to our bonus story as we look at Grinchmas. So Grinchmas is an annual holiday event where the citizens of Whoville are present, spreading their holiday cheer. It features sing-along, meet and greets, live shows, and tree lighting ceremonies, all within Universal Studios theme park. The first event occurred in 2000, around the same time as the film was being released, and the event takes place in Universal Studios Hollywood and Islands of Adventure in Orlando, Florida. So in terms of the history for the Hollywood version, the event started in 2000, where the Chicken Run Maze attraction was actually repurposed into a Grinch attraction. And the main highlight of this was the Mount Crumpet Snow Slide, which would be a toboggan snow ride for guests. And this would only unfortunately run for 1 year, as the slide featured actual ice, and it would cause melted puddles at the end of the ice, and then it would remelt in the cold overnight, and then it would be a danger for guests. The other highlight of the first event featured a holiday stage show, which was featured on the Blues Brothers stage. In 2008, the event would be moved to the Nickelodeon Kids Blast Zone, and this area would feature the newly debuted Snow Play Zone, as well as a musical stage show using sets from the actual movie. In 2009, the event would be moved again, then to the recently closed Wild Wild West Arena for a bigger snow play area. And then in 2011, the area was actually demolished to give a bigger arena for Grinchmas. A new show was added in 2011 to add celebrity narrators who would read the classic Dr. Seuss story. And as of 2018, the event currently features 4 main shows: the Martha May and Who Dolls, which is a holiday sing-along show, the Hula Day Singers, who provide Christmas tunes, Story Time with Cindy Lou Who, and the tree lighting ceremony. Other activities for the younger guests include Trim Up the Tree, where guests can make a paper ornament, and the Whoville Post Office, where guests can fill out a postcard with 3 good deeds that they have done, and they can give it to the Grinch. In terms of Florida, the event occurs in Seuss Landing, the permanent home of the Who's, and for the first year, a Grinch Lair attraction was the highlight, and this attraction featured replica props from the film, and it would lead to a meet and greet photo opportunity with the Grinch. Universal decided to cancel the event in 2005, but due to fan protests, the event was brought back in 2007. Guests can now get a photo op with the Grinch in the All the Books You Can Read merchandise store, and the main attraction is the Grinch musical celebration in a sound stage provided throughout the day. Both events in Florida and Hollywood include photo ops with Grinch, Max, Cindy Lou Who, and other Whoville citizens. So I only experienced the Florida version, and I love the musical version. It's a shortened 45-minute kind of brief synopsis of the film, but it also features really the cool songs like Where Are You Christmas and You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch. So definitely a highlight. So yeah, I definitely recommend, if you're ever in Universal Studios Florida or Hollywood for the Christmas season, you definitely check out Grinchmas. So thank you so much for joining us here on Disney Movie Investigations. Please leave a comment below on what you think of How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and if you've ever been to Grinchmas, what do you remember the most? So for our bonus episode for the month of January, we're going to look at our favorite biography movies. So please head over to our Facebook page and vote for one of the following: I, Tanya, Aaron Brockovich, Selena, Catch Me If You Can, or Man on the Moon. And in terms of our preview for our next episode, we are going to be exploring another movie on Disney Star as we take a look at the independent sci-fi feature Another Earth. So until next time, I hope you have a magical day, and we will see you real soon.